Be aware that some of the cloud services are super convenient, but could possibly lead to millions of dollars in charges overnight. This is nothing compared to a ripoff bar. Hello. According to Forrest Brazeal, a former AWS employee and now an engineer at Google, that serverless can be the most horribly charged. To begin with, some of you may not know what serverless is, so I will explain it very briefly. To run a system, you need a server. The components of a server are much the same as a PC. Basically, it consists of CPU, memory, and HDD. Serverless does not mean that there is no CPU, memory, and HDD. It is called serverless because the user does not have to be aware of them. Generally, when you use a server, you need an operating system. When you use a laptop, you have Windows on it, right? Windows keeps your CPU, memory, and HDD well under control. You turn on your laptop, Windows starts up, and you launch applications such as Word and Excel. To take the explanation to a bit of an extreme, serverless is similar in image to using only an application. You just call up the application, and there is no need to turn on the power and start the OS. You can invoke the application when you want to use it and as much as you want to use it. Now, back to the article. This serverless feature is called Lambda in AWS. Lambda, as I told you, can be called whenever you want to use it. The scary thing about this feature is that if you want to call it, you can amplify the process almost infinitely using almost infinite cloud resources. In other words, if you happen to run a program with such a bug embedded in it, you will get a terrific bill. AWS calls this problem the recursive runaway problem. Forrest calls it the Hall of Infinite Functions. The frightening part of this problem is that it cannot be prevented. AWS can trigger a billing alarm if you use too many resources than expected and your usage costs become too high. However, if this situation occurs, the system will call fast and use resources before the billing alarm is fired. Therefore, there is virtually no way to prevent this from happening. In his article, Forrest describes 3 mitigating measures. Keep concurrency limits low. Watch for abnormal calls. Write good programs. For serverless execution, you can set a limit on the number of concurrent executions, so keep it low. However, even so, this does not completely prevent it, so it is better than not doing it. As for monitoring, like the billing alarms mentioned earlier, by the time you detect them, they have used up a significant amount of resources and it is actually too late to do anything about it. The last one, writing a good program, is more of a wish than a mitigation measure. Now, after all this talk, you may be thinking, then let's stop using serverless. Wait a minute. As I said at the beginning, serverless is super convenient. The image is similar to the relationship between car leasing and car sharing. Car leasing can be compared to normal server operations, and car sharing can be compared to serverless. Which do you think is more affordable, car leasing or car sharing? In most cases, I think car sharing is by far the cheaper option. In the case of cloud computing, you don't have to worry about being rented by someone else and not being able to use it, as is the case with car sharing. You can use it when you want to use it, so it is very inexpensive. If you cannot enjoy this advantage, there is no point in using the cloud, so be aware of the risks and use it well. Let me summarize. Serverless is super convenient, but there are risks. Although the risks cannot be completely avoided at present, we should consider ways to mitigate them and make the best use of them. This channel will quickly bring you interesting tech news. If you're interested in watching again, please subscribe to the channel and wait for the next video. Thank you very much.